Welcome to Beijing on day 10, when the sound of one hamstring snapping broke 1 billion Chinese hearts.
Well, it was extraordinary. Liu Shan was out there, 91,000 Chinese pairs of eyes looking at him, and he didn't look comfortable from the start, to be honest. He was wincing as he pulled his vest on, wincing when he did his shoes up, just didn't look himself. One false start, he didn't even get to the first hurdle, and he pulled up, walked out of the stadium.
Why is this such a big deal?
Well, it's just, he is China's hope for a gold. Home hope, reigning champion. The people in tears, volunteers in tears, people in the crowd in tears as soon as it happened.
We had a survey before the games came out, and he added the popularity of Chinese athletes. He was more popular than Yao Ming. He was the top guy. Everyone was watching. Well,
I think that's a fair point, isn't it? Because in the Bird's Nest, they've got this magnificent 91,000 stadium, and now we're almost certainly not going to see a Chinese gold medal there. And of course, the other thing about Yao Ming is, although he's an NBA star, there's no way China are going to win a gold medal in that either. So,
as much as I go on about the swimming, I think every home nation wants to have a track and field winner. Yeah. We managed to jag one in Sydney. The Greeks had a cup, one or two in Athens. And so it's very sad for China.
And he was their one hope for a track medal.
Yeah.
His coach was in tears afterwards. It's one thing, young fans being upset, but his coach afterwards was sitting there, tears pouring down his face.
Yeah, we could see some backlash from this already. There's one of the Chinese websites, and people are coming out with loathing for the fact that he's failed.
Yeah. I saw one comment from one of the fans was, be a man, come out and perform for China.
That injury did knock the stuffing out of the games a little bit, but we had such a fabulous day the other day with our 100 metres, and Simon Evans, you've been looking at this. Are we going to have a double yammy in the 200?
Yeah, Usain Bolt, made such a huge impact with that winning the 100 metres, and then the Jamaican women taking a clean sweep of the podium, gold and Bolt silvers because they tied for second place. And Bolt's father, speaking exclusively to Reuters, said that it was the local vegetable yam from the Trelawney area where Bolt's from that was to credit for that victory, and it's prompted a little bit of a bouncing about of ideas on the internet. Quite a few blogs have picked it up. And
so have yam sales gone through the roof?
Well, we'll have to say, the biggest producers of yam in the world are Nigeria. And if you look up their record, they've won 2 Olympic gold medals, so it hasn't worked for them.
They're in the semi-finals of the football, tomorrow.
They are.
That could be 11.
Bring on the yams, yeah.
What do they, apart from yams? Actually, first of all, I have no idea what a yam is. I've never had one knowingly.
A yam is not a sweet potato.
Right,
It's similar to a sweet potato, but it isn't. In America, what are called yams are in fact sweet potatoes. It's just a marketing mistake by the supermarkets.
Okay.
But yams are root vegetables. Some of them get as long as 2 meters long.
Super tuber.
Yes, exactly. Super tuber.
Belinda, would you know a yam if it came up and bit you?
I'm very fond of yam, actually, and I'm going very fast. 2012, here I come.
I went down to the Media Village, and I did ask if they had any yam burgers or perhaps some yam and eggs, but they just didn't really.
I did see a Nigerian journalist while I was having a cup of coffee, and so I asked him, about yam, and he was absolutely convinced that it does give you tremendous health benefits. And not only that, in Nigeria, if a guest is coming to your house, the biggest respect you can show to them is to give them a plate of yam.
It's true. Well, Julian, you've been no swimming today.
No swimming, but
you did have quite an exciting day, even so.
Yes, today's first day out of the pool for Michael Phelps, and although he had a pretty hectic swimming schedule, his schedule outside the pool is even busier. He's doing the whole media rounds, and he started off, we went out to one of his sponsors' dues and had an exclusive interview one-on-one with the great man, where he revealed to Reuters that he is most definitely planning to continue swimming. He's going to go on to at least the London Olympics. Wow. He's going to swim at all the World Championships in between. He has to go to Rome next year because his mum's never been there, and she said that you better get your act together and make sure you qualify for the team. And then
obviously he couldn't scrape together the money for a ticket.
So, no. And so it's not the end for Michael Phelps at all. It's still the beginning, and he's got more things in store.
Excellent.
Was he out on the air last night?
Having had a couple myself over the years, I can usually tell the signs. And I did ask him, did you go out last night on the tiles? But he looked me in the eye and he said, no, he didn't. He spent it with Mum and his sisters and a couple of friends. He said the last time he had a drop of alcohol was early this year before the US trials. Wow. But it does show you how much he's learned, because after Athens, when he won 6 goals, he came back to Baltimore and within days he got busted drink driving.
He did, didn't he? Yeah,
Yeah.
Just a sort of block on his.
Yeah, but then it was a bit of a turning point in his life because sometimes the great global superstars need to be knocked down a peg, and that turned him around. He's a really good guy.
He doesn't. I mean, seeing him in the press conferences this week, he doesn't come across as a global superstar type at all, does he?
No, he
really
doesn't.
is
He even says he's like the same person now I was 4 years ago. I haven't changed. I'm going back to my normal life. I'm looking forward to going home and hanging out with my friends, my family, and seeing my dog.
But you sort of believe it when he says it. I mean, people spin you these tales about, I'm just happy to spend time with my mum and my family and all this kind of stuff. But you actually believe it when folks say
Well, he's got all this money now, and where did he buy a house? Did he buy a penthouse in New York or something at Malibu? No, he bought it back in Baltimore. So he's moving back to his old hometown, but all he's talking about is wanting to go and see the Ravens play and hang out with his mates.
He could have bought a penthouse next to yours in New York, couldn't he?
Okay, I've got a guessing game for you. How many BlackBerry messages, Belinda, because Belinda also came in on the interview with Michael Day, you can't tell me the answer.
Okay,
How many BlackBerry messages has Michael Phelps got in the last 24 hours?
If he's anything like me, I would say 7.
7? Ooh. Anyone else?
I'll go for 700.
700? Holy Moses. Yep.
240.
What's the right answer?
Between 4,000 and 5,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
He says everyone in his address book has messaged him since the 8th goal.
4,000 in his address book.
No,
Hell
10
of an
times.
address
He said they're
Tiger's
going
been busy.
The
That's
one
right.
person he hasn't heard from is Mark Spitz.
I was, as an aside to that, Belinda, as Julian mentioned, you were at that interview as well. What was it like being in the presence of greatness and with Michael Phelps?
See that
He's
one.
amazingly humble. He really is the boy next door. He really doesn't come across yet as that superstar. He hasn't got the charisma that you expect of someone in his position. He's obviously very tired. He was yawning. He was bored of questions already. He's had a really busy few months, obviously, and suddenly he's looking worn out.
Well, there was one story that tickled me today, and I was speaking to our correspondent Sophie Taylor in Hong Kong. She's there where the equestrianism is, and she said that because there are 200 horses taking part in the Olympics and in the Paralympics, they have to shift 30 tons of horse manure a day. And do you know how they do it? They use earthworms to turn it into fertiliser.
Really?
It's absolutely splendid. So
You could make fantastic yam from that.
couldn't you? You could. So thanks very much indeed to Simon Evans, Julian Linden, Ossian Shine, and Belinda Goldsmith. Thank you.